I just wanna run and not be gone too long, 'cause this time is precious still. I wanna keep it close to me. I'm wishing on a star to make more time to see. You can always dream. You can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. You can always dream. No one's taken that from you. Only you can see it through, just like the way you do. So feed it from your soul and weigh it from both sides. The fulcrum and the tides will give direction that you'll know. You can always dream. You can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming. When you make the time, it's a game of give and take. When the balance is at stake, you need to take a look inside. Look deep into your heart and remember how it feels. It's where the answer lies and tells you what is real. You can always dream. You can't put your life on hold, 'cause time won't wait for you. You can always see what is here in the now, and then you'll find out how to keep dreaming.
Celebration Center. My name is Stephanie Snow. I'm a board member here at the center. Today I am your host and your practitioner with a small p, meaning I am not officially certified, but we can all pray. And that's what I'm going to do today. If you're online, please say hi in the chat. And if you're in the room, please silence your cell phones, but leave them on to join the chat if you'd like. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We'd love to get to know you. And if you want to tell us how you found us, please do. If you're online, you can fill out a guest card online. Oh, and we would love to have your email, your name and your email, so we can send you our great, wonderful newsletter, which tells you everything that's going on here. Eugene Holden is joining as our guest speaker today, and David Potts-Dupre is our guest musician. Today, stick around after the service, because we're having an art party where we're making holiday cards and karaoke. Yep. And watch out, because I might sing. Next Sunday after the service, we're having a board meeting. All are welcome on Zoom or in person. And also Reverend Faith will be speaking next Sunday. And finally, I want to just give you an advance notice. December 8th, we're having our holiday feast, so get ready. Irina Kurashevas, our practitioner, is going to roast a turkey, and we're all going to bring sides and desserts. Yes. And now I would like to welcome David Potts-Dupre for our opening song.
What say you, Irene Louise? Is there anything that might please? A walk in the dark or a talk in the park, a kite riding high on the breeze. There's no place I'd rather be hanging with my Irene. We're peas in a pod, we might be Greek gods, but I'm happy with just you and me. Irene Louise, Irene Louise, Irene Louise, Irene Louise. I saw you come into this world, just a wee little slip of a girl, a little bit like me and a little bit like she, more precious than a ruby or pearl. I'm your grandpa, I'm here for you. Let's both run away to the zoo. The seals bark your name as if playing a game. Let's dive in their sea of blue. Irene Louise, Irene Louise, Irene Louise, Irene Louise. The years that we have will be gold. I'm okay now to grow old. The times that we'll share, the adventures we'll dare, the myriad paths to be strolled. Irene
the preciousness of a new baby, and that we all have that preciousness. Just sometimes it gets covered up by other things. That was lovely. Okay, let us read our vision statement together. Are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. As we go into prayer, notice your breath. Feel your being expand and release. Expand and release. Expand and release. Into the one presence, expanding and releasing. I know there is one presence, one power, one essence. I know that all of us in this world are endlessly creative expressions of this one power, this one presence, this one essence. And that each of us is capable of conscious creation as we choose to freely create our perceptions, our feelings, our thoughts, words, and actions. And in so doing, we expand and release into the truth of who we truly are. I am grateful for this gift of creative choice. I am grateful for the continuous opportunity to expand and release into deeper and fuller awareness. In this gratitude, I expand my word and release it into the presence. And so it is. And now, I think so. It says it here in the script. It says it here in the script.
I see a patch of bread in the sun-bleached corn, catching rays of light on this Iowa morn. The air is sweet and the sky deep blue, and I see a young girl, looks like you. She has your auburn hair and your eyes earth brown. She has your devil-may care. She has your skeptical frown. The air is sweet and the sky deep blue, and I see a young girl that looks like you. She runs across the field and she calls to me. Do you see that hawk, Daddy? Oh, do you see? The air is sweet and the sky deep blue, and I see a young girl that looks like you. Just like you. A photo of you sits by my chair. Your eyes are so bright and your skin is so fair. But I don't need that photo to picture you. I see you every day. She's you through and through. She climbs up in my lap and looks me eye to eye. She says that hawk is Mama, Daddy. That's Mama in the sky. The air is sweet and the sky deep blue, and I see a young girl, looks like you, just like you. Your mama's in the sky, dear. Mama's always near. I smile and kiss her cheek, kiss a salty tear. The air is sweet and the sky deep blue, and I see a young girl, looks like you, just like you, just like you.
Thank you again, David. I get the feeling you like children. I was just substituting in a 4th grade class on Friday. It was wonderful. So I feel you. Okay, I am so excited because since the last time I saw Eugene Holden here, I've been waiting for him to come back. He has been a student of Science of Mind and Spirit for over 30 years and a licensed religious science practitioner for 15 years. For 10 years, he served as a World Ministry of Prayer and also served at the Home Office Liaison to the Diversity Commission. He has been a well-loved contributor to the Science of Mind magazine for over 13 years, inspiring lives around the world. Eugene allows vision to guide him and prayer that fuels him. He is deeply committed to the purpose of joyfully assisting others in remembering who and what we truly are, divine beings of light. Eugene believes that together we can reveal the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. What is heaven? Heaven is ever-expanding good. Please join me in welcoming Eugene Holden.
Woo! Woo! Thank you, Stephanie. Good morning, everybody. Good seeing everybody. Welcome back. I guess I should say be welcome back to me, right? It's good to see everybody once again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hello to everyone who was live streaming out there today. So good to see you. And for those who are tuning in right now, welcome. For those who are tuning in a little bit later, welcome. Start time. So I am so excited. I woke up this morning. It's interesting, technology, right? So I wrote this talk on Monday. I usually don't do that. I'm a week ahead. So I was going to review it yesterday, and it was not there at all. Wasn't there at all. Which was okay because it allowed me to write a different talk, which is the same talk. And so, as we know, Eugene, slow down. I know you're excited. So as we know, through Centers for Spiritual Living, the yearly theme is a grand rising. A grand rising. I had someone text me about something that I wrote in the affirmations, and I was saying, now's the time to have a grand rising about that. And he was asking me what I meant, because to him, he thought a grand rising was just another way of saying good morning. Now, it could mean like that. Well, grand rising, everybody. Grand rising, Stephanie, right? And so, but what we're really talking about is having a grand rising in consciousness. A grand rising in the way that we're thinking. A grand rising in our awareness. So being aware of what? Being conscious of what, right? A grand rising in being aware of who we truly are. Being aware of the good that is going on in life, no matter what the appearances might be. Having a grand rising in the awareness that right where you are, good is. Having a grand awareness, a grand rising in your conscious awareness that the people that we are surrounded by are also just like us. No matter what the appearances are, no matter what the belief systems are, they truly are just like us. In fact, there is no they. It's just this one awareness, this one presence that is revealing itself in, through, and as everything that we see and don't see. So, grand rising, and a grander rising in your awareness. And so this month's theme is abundance, which is a cute way of saying abundance, right? And what that's really about is having a grand awareness, thank you, Spirit, a grand rising in the consciousness that we are surrounded by an infinite abundance. We have an abundance of everything. And we're not just talking about money. We're talking about, yes, financial abundance, absolutely. An abundance of health, absolutely. An abundance of joy, absolutely. An abundance of peace, absolutely. So raising our awareness, having a grand rising in awareness of the abundance that surrounds us. Is this making sense? A grand rising. And so the abundance is all around us. All around us. And this month's, I love it, this month's topic is loaves and fishes, and we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. So, but before we do that, last week, the topic was more buns to share. More buns to share. Now, some of us may think about sharing buns in a different way. We're not talking about those kind of buns. We're talking about having an abundance of talent, an abundance of our own selves to share. We are always and forever and in always surrounded by an abundance of everything that we need. Now, what I would want you to do is to tap into that. To tap into what you are and what you bring to the table. To tap into who am I and what do I bring. And it's not about looking for things that I don't have. Well, I don't know this. I don't know. I don't have this education. I don't have this experience. It's not about that. It's about looking at the things that we do have. What is it that fires me up? What fires you up to share with the world? The abundance. David has an abundance of joy for his family, and he shared it today. Right? So what is it that is wanting to be shared through you? Something that brings you joy, or something that you are very clear about, that is just wanting, that's calling you forth to share with your family, with your friends, or with whoever will listen, right? You see, here's the thing. No one does life like you. No one does life like you. What I like to, and I love that we are spiritual entities having a physical experience on this spiritual plane called earth. And there's no one quite like you. How can we prove that? You can just take a look at the fingertip on one finger. No one else on the planet has that fingerprint. Isn't that beautifully deep? That there's no one like you. Now, if I knew how to play the guitar, I could take that same song and it wouldn't be the same song. It wouldn't be the same song. So, you are a unique expression of life, and you are here to show that. You are here to share your divine abundance with the world. That's the bun that we are to share, the abundance of ourselves that we are to share. Now, this week, we are talking about loaves and fishes. How many people know where that story or where that phrase comes from? Loaves and fishes. All right, for those who know, then you're going to know what I'm speaking about. For those who don't know, well, let me just give you a little bit of background. That story is from the New Testament of what we call the Bible. And it's an interesting story in that, I want to say this. It's an interesting story in that we must have to realize that the Bible was not written for us. It was written to us, but it wasn't for us. It's for the people who grew up in that environment. So some of the languaging and the phrases that they use is for those people who understand that. For example, the loaves and fishes, the story is about Yeshua being in a crowd of 5,000 people and feeding the crowd in one verse it's 7 loaves and 2 fish. In another verse or another book is 4,000 being fed with 4 loaves and 2 fish. The numbers don't matter to that Eastern philosophy or that Eastern way of living, because one of the things that they do in terms of scripture and whatever else is they amplify the story. 4,000 people? 5,000 people? But they amplify the story so that we remember it. So 2,000 years plus, we remember the story. Right? So it's not that they exaggerate, but they amplify the story so that we can remember it. See, so the amplification, as I just said, is about, so we can remember, okay, I get it. But here's the thing. So maybe, and it was written in a way that this character called Yeshua, Messiah, Jesus the Christ, performed this miracle. And how the story goes, this is great, is that, he was doing this talk and he was teaching. He was teaching with this great, like we're doing now, right? And his staff members, thank you, Reverend Wida Joie, his staff members went to him and says, okay, well, we have a lot of people here. How are we going to feed them? We can't send them away hungry. So how the story goes is he's, okay, well, is there anybody who has any food? And so this young kid had a few loaves of bread and 2 fish. And Yeshua, how the story goes, he gave thanks for that and then broke everything apart and then fed 4,000 people, right? What if, let's break it down to reality. What if it was like this? So the teaching is taking place on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, which means that this is a fishing community. There's fish all the time. Right? It's a fishing community. And in that tradition, it is customary for the women in the house in the morning to bake the daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread, because every day they would bake bread so that the man and the kids can go out and do what they do, but still had bread to eat whenever they wanted to eat. So we're talking about a crowd of people who may have had bread with them, and we're living in a fishing community. So there's fish and bread already around. Here's the miracle, is that maybe Yeshua said, hey, we need food. Is there anyone that has food to share? Catch this. That the community began to share with each other. Maybe that's the miracle. Because we're talking about a community of people that have come together under a common unity. And that is love, that is peace, that is joy. And they're there to listen to an individual open their hearts up. Because he always said that Yeshua Messiah always talked about the fact that it wasn't him. The words that I speak are not mine. The works that I do, they're not mine. Oh, by the way, you can do this too. So they're there being inspired. Ooh, perfect. They're there to be inspired, to be inspirational within their own community. So here's my question to you, my brothers and sisters. What is calling forth? What is within you that's being called forth to inspire others around you? Is it playing music? Is it writing poetry? Is it substituting in a class? Or is it just being your beautiful, divine, quiet self? What's calling you forth? And here's the thing about that call, that it will change every day. I was speaking with someone earlier about commitment, right? Because we have this thing about commitment. You know, once we set a commitment, once we make a commitment, we stick to that commitment. Because not to do so would be, just can't do that. But I'm here to tell you that sometimes it's okay to decommit based on new evidence, based on new information that you may have, right? So I have had a commitment to show up in a certain way. I have a commitment to show up, how do I want to use this? I have a commitment to show up in the work that I do in a certain way, and I'm committed to that. But that doesn't mean that that commitment keeps me from being myself. That doesn't mean that that commitment does not allow me space to show up as the vibrant optician that I am, right? And I bring all of me with me. So sometimes I am called to be really stern is not the word, but really being firm, I'll say that, firm on guiding patients on what they are really needing in terms of their glassware, their eyewear. So even though the company's commitment is to be, kind and generous and all of that, well, I am, but that doesn't mean that I'm going just to sell them something that they don't need. So my decommitment is I'm committed. It's not that I'm not committed to the company. I'm committed to my patients. Who are you committed to? And I'm committed to my patients because I'm committed to being the best person of service that I can possibly be. So our Loaves and Fishes is about tapping into what it is that you have and then being willing to share that. Being willing to share that. Oh, here's a great question. Do you know in this moment, by a show of hands, and you can just do that just real fast, do you have an idea of what's ready to be shared within your world? Yeah. I saw this. I see the smile. She's not going to raise her hand, but yeah, I think I have an idea. Now, here's the other question. Now that you know that, are you willing to share that? Or if you don't know how to share that, are you willing to find out how? Yes. Yes. So, loaves and fishes. We're talking about abundance. And I love that we're talking about abundance in this season, what I call the high holy days, the holidays, right? Actually, holiday it comes from holy days, the high holy days. And we're going into Thanksgiving. And this is when we get together with our friends and our families, and we give thanks for the food. We give thanks for the food. And we give thanks for everything that is happening in our lives. Right? And being in this vibration of Thanksgiving, starting today, just make a mental list of a few things that you're grateful for. Now, if you can't find anything to be grateful for, I want you to stop and take a breath. Be grateful for that breath. Be grateful for that breath, because without that breath, life is a little different. Right? Without that breath, life is a little different. And there's always something for us to be grateful for. This is what I love about this thing called life, is that being aware, having a grand rising on the awareness that there is something that's behind it all. There's an intelligence that is behind it all. Have you ever stopped to think that you're not the one that breathes your breath? If it was up to me to remember to breathe, well, I don't know. That there's something within us and around us that beats our hearts. So what I'm really asking us to do is to stop and have a grand rising on the awareness that, wait a minute, there's something that animates the body temple, and that same something that animates our body temple is that which causes the sun to shine. Having a grand rising of awareness is about realizing that even the motion of my hands, I'm not even doing it. There is something, a greater intelligence that flows through the brain synapses that fire the nerves that trigger the muscles for me to do this. There's something within us that's ready to be expressed as us. This is the grand rising of consciousness that I'm referring to. And then we take our loaves and our fishes. We take what we have and we share it with the world. See, I know that Terry is ready to share something with the world, right? Yeah. I know that each and every one of us in here is ready to share something with the world, even if it's a simple smile. Even if it's a simple smile. What we don't want to do is to get distracted by, and you've heard me say this before, by the weapons of mass distraction. Mass distraction. So what do I mean by that? The weapons of mass distraction, and there are a few, and the one I usually talk about is the media, right? We get sucked in with the news and sucked in with all the stories. I have gotten sucked into this whole of TikTok and YouTube shorts, and oh my God, mass distraction. Distracting us from who we are here to be. And who you are here to be is the shining, brilliant, beautiful, bodacious light of life. Now, one of the greatest weapons of mass distraction is my mind, is my thought. Being distracted, my mind will have me distracted by thinking about what I'm being distracted from the media, right? And then I start going down, listening to the news and all, and I love what's going on in America now. Love what's going on. I love what's going on because it's an opportunity for me to remember why I am here. I am here to remind us all that we are divine beings of light, that we are here to love no matter what. There's this thing that we have, right, that we hear about, unconditional love. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. First of all, love by its very nature is unconditional. But unconditional love also means that I love you no matter what you say or don't say, no matter what you do or do not do, what you've done or will not do. Now, are we willing to step into that, to love unconditionally, which means that we have to raise our consciousness, so grand rising, to raise our consciousness so that we may be that vehicle, that presence, that place that loves. Now, love doesn't mean that we are going to be floor mats, because that's not love. If I become a doormat, that's not loving me. If I allow people to walk all over me and to say things to me that hurt my feelings and me not respond in a kind way, which is different from being nice, if I don't respond in a kind way, then I'm allowing them to continue to use me as a doormat. That's not loving myself. But I'm going to love myself enough to say, let me be kind and say to you that doesn't work for me. And you're acting like, acting in a way that just does not work. And then we get to talk about what does work. What is it that you're here to share? What is the loaves that you have? What are the fish that you have to share? What are the gifts and talents that's ready to come out? And once you start to tap into that, then you realize that there's an abundance of whatever that is. There's an abundance of talent within each and every one of us. That talent could be writing. That talent could be music. That talent could be keeping the ledger sheets straight, whatever that talent is, use it. Because if we don't use it, you know that it was saying, if we don't use it, we lose it. And I don't think we ever lose it. I think what happens is that it gets rusty. It gets real rusty. So, in closing, what I want to say. Okay, we may close a little bit longer than I thought. But we are here in the Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. Celebration. This is what I'm going to say in closing. In closing, celebrate your life. Right? In celebration, one of the ways to celebrate is to give thanks. Gratitude is a way of celebration. Gratitude is a great way of celebrating. So when I say if you don't have anything to be grateful for, stop and take the breath. But we have so many things to be grateful for. The fact that we got up this morning and that the body moves. Celebrate life. Give thanks for everything that you have in your life. In all things, be grateful. Scripture says in all things, not for all things. It says in all things. So even in those midst of pain and darkness, be grateful. One last thing, I promise. Know that there is a power for good in the universe. And it works through your thinking. It works through your thinking. What are you thinking about? And your thoughts create your reality. I'm going to anchor this in prayer, if you don't mind. I know that there is one power, one presence, one life, one substance, and it's called by different names. Sometimes it is known as God. Sometimes it is known as Krishna. Sometimes it is called Yahweh or Olodumare or Allah. Sometimes it is called nothing at all. Sometimes it's called universal intelligence. But whatever it is called, we call it forth into our conscious awareness, recognizing that it is at the very center of all of life. And having no circumference whatsoever, there isn't anything that exists outside of the presence of that which I call God. That love intelligence that is always guiding our direction. And recognizing and acknowledging that it is everywhere present, I know that right where I am, it is revealing itself in, through, and as my life. And as I know this to be the truth of my life, I know this to be the truth of each individualized expression of love right here and right now. Right here, right now, love is we are. And so it is in my awareness of our oneness in God that I speak this word from a united state of consciousness, a united state of consciousness, an awareness of the oneness that we all are. That as we, each and every one of us, step into and then stand boldly in the divinity of our being, that we surrender to being the vehicles of love. We surrender to being the channel and the instrument of peace. As Gandhi once said, be the change we want to see. So let's be the peace we want to see. Let's be the joy we want to experience. Let's be the love that we want to receive. So knowing that we are just really, we are ready, willing, and able, and receptive, and available to be that, we surrender to it. So knowing that this is already done, I give great thanks. And it is from this place of thanksgiving that I release this word now into the potent and always dynamic activity of love and law. This is what I know, that as this word is released into the law cannot help itself. It has no other recourse but to take these words and to mold them and to shape them, to design and create them, and then return them unto us, not void or empty, but absolutely and completely fulfilled. And so filled full, we allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Peace and blessings, everyone.
went to my niece's wedding, I just sat and watched all the couples. And you know, they cried when she said, I do. And I watched them dance at the reception, and they looked so happy. And I felt so lost and out of place. I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Then I watched that couple fighting at the bar, and that little kid screaming in the store, and I think to myself, my life's not that bad, you know, and for a while I feel righteous. But then I see that same little kid smiling up at her dad. I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Sitting at the diner listening to my music, talking to myself, I'll be that crazy old man one day, scared of growing old and being alone and afraid. Listening to the song speaketh the need for love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Last Christmas, I sat and opened up one of my presents under the tree, and I said, how'd you know I wanted one of these? And I said, I know you pretty well. And what did you get me? And I said, oh, you're going to be so surprised. I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Then one fine spring day, I saw a woman reading a book on a bench, and I just went up and sat right down next to her, and I asked, what are you reading? And she said, Kafka. And I just looked at her, and then I asked, are you lonely? She said, I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Are you lonely too? And I said, I'm lonely, I'm lonely. Will you be lonely with me? Will you be lonely with me?
Thank you, David Potts-Dupre. And let's give another hand to Eugene. Eugene, can you hear us? We know you're out there somewhere. Okay. Where am I here? Oh, this is the time in our service for our gifts and offerings. We are a tithing community and rely on the tithes and gifts from our congregation. Please know that your presence, as well as the love, time, talent, and treasure that you bring, is a gift to our community, and we are grateful. There are several ways you can give. Several ways you can give. If you're here, you can drop it in the basket. You can use this QR code. Or you can go on through our website. There's a donate button. Or on our website is also our address where you can mail a check. So if you want to give us money, we have many ways to take it. And now for our offertory prayer. Please say with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And as we bless our donations, I know that we are one with abundance. I know that all the donations that people give, money, time, talent, all will be used for power for good in the universe, because it works through my thinking, it works through our thinking, it works through the Celebration Center's thinking. I give thanks for the good that we can create in the universe, and I release it into the law, and so it is. And again, our musician. Well, I was going to do that late. I'll do it right now. So, we have a ministry of prayer, and you can fill out a card here, and it will go to the ministry of prayer. Ed Preston is one of the people in our ministry of prayer. There are a few others, and they will pray for you every day of the week that you give that that you give that prayer request. You can also enter it through our website online. Thank you, Terry. And while we're here with these cards, if you're a guest, we would love for you to fill out one of these cards. You can also do it online. If you put your email, you will get our wonderful newsletter that will tell you all the great speakers, musicians, and events that we are having here. And take it away, David.
There's a favorite place for me in your arms, something magic in your touch, in your arms. I'll whisper in your ear, I'll always love you, dear. Everything's so clear in your often show up all at once in my dreams. Every night we're holding hands in my dreams, flying through the air, the moonlight in your hair. There's none that can compare in my dreams. What is it about you makes me hazy? I swear you're somehow messing with my brain. What is it about you drives me crazy? Is it the shot of love going straight into the vein? There's a place for us to walk in the woods. There is magic all around in the woods. The rustling of the leaves, the stirring of the trees, the buzzing of the bees in the woods. When you're not with me, you're still in my mind, never gone for very long in my mind. My favorite memories, my constant reveries, you're always there with me In my mind, you're always there with me. In my mind.
Thank you so much. Woo, yeah, I know. Should we get an encore? We are so blessed here. So what I would like you to do is stand up if you are able and feel like it, and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening in my life.
Something wonderful is happening.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Because it is.
Right now,
Right now.
I feel it,
I feel it.
I believe it,
Oh, I believe it.
and I accept it.
I accept it.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, Spirit.
Spirit. And so it is.